And I'm going to start with the Phillies and the Mariners. How about two franchises that finally were able to end their postseason droughts? We'll go ahead and start with the Mariners because it was a longer drought than the Philadelphia Phillies. 21 years it had been since the M's were in the postseason. They made the postseason for the first time since their 116-win season back in 2001. Of course, it was because of Cal Raleigh coming off the bench, a walk-off pinch hit home run back on September 30th. Very cool for the Seattle Mariners. I think the future is bright for the M's. I don't think that will be the last time that we see them in the postseason. Okay, the Phillies got off to a 22-29 start before they fired Joe Girardi on June 3rd. That man right there, Rob Thompson, took over after spending 32 years as a coach. The Phillies won the first 8 games of his managerial career. They not only survived their slow start, but they lost Bryce Harper for 52 games with that thumb injury. Harper would come back and become the NLCS MVP as the Phillies went on to go to the World Series for the first time since 2009. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies. The NL East is stacked for 2023. Of course, we know what the Mets have done so far this offseason. The Braves are always good, and I have no doubt that the Philadelphia Phillies will be right back in there, especially since they added Trey Turner to that potent lineup. And of course, Bryce Harper will get back in there as well. Okay, my number 2 thing as far as what was so exciting about 2022, it's a trio of players that 2 for sure are headed to the Hall of Fame, perhaps a third, when Yadier Molina, Albert Pujols, and Adam Wainwright walked off the mound together for the final time in what has been an unbelievable career for the 3 of these guys. You see it there on October 2nd. That was the 328th and final time that Wainwright and Molina were the starting battery for the Cardinals. It's the most of any duo in Major League history. Prior to the game, the 3 were honored in a 46-minute off-the-field ceremony. They won 2 World Series titles as teammates, of course, in the teammate trio of 2006 and 2011. Now, we know that Yachty is in the Hall of Fame. We know that Albert Pujols is on his way to Cooperstown as well. It remains to be seen what will happen with Adam Wainwright. But the 3 of these guys together, you're never going to see a trio like this again that has played so many games together, and the mutual amount of respect that these 3 have for one another. So congratulations to Yachty, to Waino, and to Tio Albert. Okay, a third moment for me as far as the 2022 season is concerned. Mark Appel. This is a guy that was a former first-round draft pick and then had to go through a tremendous amount of adversity to be able to get back on the mound, and he did just that. He finally was able to make his major league debut. Number 1 overall pick in 2013. Remember that? By the Houston Astros. He was eventually traded to the Phillies in December of 2015. He struggled with both ineffectiveness, injuries throughout the minor league career. The Phillies eventually DFA'd him after the 2017 season, and a couple of months later, he announced he was stepping away from baseball. But then, in March of 2021, he decided to make an attempt at a comeback. He signed a minor league deal with the Phillies. He struggled. He did struggle, a .584 earned run average in 2021. But you know what? He bet on himself, and he stuck with it. He got off to a pretty good start. Listen to this. 5-0, a .161 earned run average in AAA in 2022. Then finally, after being a number 1 pick back in 2013, on June 24th of this year, 2022, the Phillies called him up from the minors to the majors. 5 days later, he made his Major League Baseball debut by pitching an inning of relief against the Braves. That is perseverance. That is betting on yourself. Good on you, Mark Appel. All right, so number 4 for me is the Orioles magic. We already talked about the Mariners. We already talked about the Phillies and getting over those postseason droughts. But how about the Orioles, specifically the way that they played in the second half of the season? This is a team that has a lot to look forward to. They had lost at least 108 games in each of their last 3 full seasons, including 110 losses, you guys, in 2021. They looked like they were headed for another 100-loss season. However, On May 21st, Baltimore was 16-24, but on that day, they called up the top prospect in baseball, catcher Adley Rutschman. From that point on, the Orioles went 67-55. They finished with 83 wins on the season. They became the first team in modern Major League Baseball history to finish with a winning record the year after losing at least 110 games. Good for the Baltimore Orioles. It's good to have competition for them. It's good to see the direction that they are going in what is a very difficult and competitive AL East. Okay, my final moment of 2022 before we get to John Morosi and the rest of our amazing guests today is Stephen Vogt. What an opportunity this guy has had in Major League Baseball, and this is a guy that has made the most of his opportunities. He announced his retirement at the end of this 2022 season, and what did he do in his last at bat? No big deal. He hit a home run. I guess you can walk away saying you did the right thing. He homered in his final Major League Baseball at bat. He did it with his family in attendance. Look at the smile. Look at the excitement. The A's surprised him by having all three of his kids announce his name over the public address system when he came to the plate for his first two plate appearances of the day. His teammates love him. He had also homered for his first Major League Baseball hit, so both home runs were hit into the same section of the right field seats at Oakland Stadium. A two-time All-Star. Home run for your first Major League Baseball hit, home run for your last Major League Baseball at-bat. Congratulations to Stephen Vogt on a great career and all of the fun moments that he has given us throughout the year. So those are my top 5, 6 if you count the fact that we had a season in 2022.